Tune in to Talking Law with Attorney Darrell O'Neill and the special guest host, Attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17.
Welcome to Talking Law with Darrell O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man with me, Jerome.
What's up, Darrell?
Man, another day in the neighborhood.
Absolutely. It's a cold day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it changed. Hey, look, we want to make sure you understand that, you can get this show, you can get it live. It shows on, we do YouTube Live.
That's right.
You do Facebook Live.
Absolutely.
Does Apple TV, Fire Stick, and Roku.
That's right.
So you have any of those apps, you can actually, stream anytime you want to. And the greatest thing is they actually have an app now. You can actually download the app and watch the show if you have that app.
Hey.
So that's a great thing.
Absolutely.
So welcome to Little Rock. Welcome to West Memphis. Welcome to Shelby County, Memphis. Welcome to Mississippi, and Mom, welcome to the great state of Missouri.
All right. Are they expecting some snow?
Yes.
They usually just get flooded, don't they?
Man, it snows everywhere. Snow is it's gonna fly, man. It's gonna fly everywhere. In St. Louis, man, my mom says it's been rough.
Well, in March and back in 1968, I always have to go back there because I just absolutely. It was a terrible moment. Dr. King, the week before, the march was scheduled for March, and we had a terrible snowstorm. So that's why he had to come back in April. And in April they had timing up the plot.
Oh man, that's crazy,
man.
If
he had gone in March,
they said if it done March, we may not have had this.
Lost Dr. King.
Wow, that's deep. Last week we didn't call it this. But we have been talking about really access to justice.
Absolutely.
Because the courthouse, the doors of the courthouse are supposed to be open to any and everybody.
I love how you did that, Darrell, because you really can't have access to justice without legal personnel.
Yeah.
I mean, we trained for it. We went to school for it. We know the rules and regulations.
Right.
So why people would avoid asking their lawyers questions?
Yeah, I mean, and so, access to justice goes a couple of ways. The number one is just choosing counsel.
That's exactly right.
Or if you can't afford to choose counsel, to represent yourself, which I never advocate for that.
Do not advocate.
But you can always represent yourself. The other thing that you can do is there's a lot of clinics, the legal clinic, Memphis Area Legal Services. I mean, the Benjamin Hooks Library.
That's right. Like every Monday, it's volunteer Monday, so lawyers are volunteering their time.
Yeah.
But let's go back to a minute. Now, where you can't afford. I
can't afford not to. Huh?
I just don't buy. I don't buy into that. You can't afford not to have representation. Now. Again, we talk about it all the time too. Lawyers are bound to do pro bono work,
right?
But we have to choose when we're going to do pro bono work,
right?
You just can't come and say, "I want you to take this."
Yeah, you gonna take this case pro bono?
No. That's not how it happens.
And it's usually about feeling. Because when I take a pro bono case, because I do take a lot of pro bono,
yes.
But when I do it, it's because I feel it.
That's right.
A lot of times, I do it for the elderly, and I do it for churches.
Right.
I mean, those are my two areas that I kind of do it for. I do some other stuff that's pro bono, but for the most part, I try to limit mine to the church and to elderly.
Well, there are also for veterans.
Veterans, man, them's my people. Them's my people. Yeah, those my people there.
And the reason why I said that today, because I happened to go by the VA hospital today there, and I saw a young man, couldn't have been no more than maybe 40 or 45, and he had lost his leg. And my heart went out to that gentleman. it used to be a draft there. You know, you didn't know anything about the draft.
But it's still around though.
Well, you got to
It's
register.
a selective service.
Everybody has to register. Every male has to register when he turns 18 years old. And please don't miss that because it can be detrimental to your life.
Yes.
But they would draft a person off the street, send him off to war, and then bring him back.
Broke like something, man.
The person has given many times the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
So my heart went out to this young man. And so many times we'll do work for veterans too, because we feel their pain, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, veteran services today are at its all-time high.
Yes.
Because, I know, my pops fought in the end of the Korean War and was going to actually end up going to the Vietnam War.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But, he was like, I got kids and I ain't
and
going.
He got out.
So he didn't have to because of the, having children.
And my brother was in Vietnam and suffered some wounds too.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing, the thing about that is, my pops was a Marine, and he,
my brother was a Marine.
Yeah, and then he
Simplify.
Simplify. He don't say I was, I am.
Right.
My father's, I'm always a Marine.
That's right.
I ain't never,
And my brother was a Marine too. But I was in the Navy. I was a Navy corpsman. But that's also associated with the Marines.
It is.
Because I was stationed with the Marines. The corpsmen are the Marine Corps medical units. So yeah, I'm very familiar with the Marines.
Well, it depends on how whoever looks at it, because the Marines will tell you we need a ride, and the Navy provides us with transportation. But most people don't know that the Navy and the Marine Corps go to the same Naval Academy.
That's exactly right.
They both go to the Naval Academy,
right? And
they choose a track,
right?
Yeah,
but they're absolutely right. It's like night and day. On the base, the Marines in one area and the sailors in another area, and the sailors have the hall, the dining halls. Well, we had like chefs preparing the meals. In the Marine Corps, they had what they call it?
The cooks over there.
Not in the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps they didn't. They just had this mess thrown together, but the Navy had it all catered and everything.
Yeah.
So, but the service, there are many times I believe that every young man probably should do at least 2 years.
Yeah,
what do you think about that, Darrell?
I believe it, and because the problem is, people don't have a sense of discipline.
That's
and, a sense of unity, a sense of teamwork.
Yes.
I was telling somebody the other day because they had a boy. And I was telling them, that the purpose of the military is to teach you focus.
Yes.
And, and what happens is, because peer pressure, you have 45% of the people that are in the Corps or the military that are going to follow the rules.
Okay.
And you have about 10% of the people that are extremely strong-minded, strong-willed. That 45% will bend those 10% into together they will become a cohesive team.
I like that.
And then it's about another. It's just 45 and 10%. That's 55. Then there's another 35%. That are resistant, but because that now you got 55% pushing them. They don't want to let the team down.
Got you.
So people know that I got to be at work on time.
Right.
I got to be here at this time. I got to do this at this time because they don't want to let the team down.
Right.
Now there's that last 10% that they got in. They're not going to conform
at all,
and they're going to get kicked out.
Okay.
Those are the people that are going to get kicked out.
Okay.
So you can't conform everybody because
right.
some people are going to be absolutely resistant just because.
Right.
But the veteran services today, my pop, man, was telling me, and I know some people that came back after the Vietnam War, they didn't provide them with the stability that they have now that they're providing for our veterans today.
I most definitely agree there.
Yeah.
In fact, they were like outcast, because the war was so unpopular in the United States that they never got their due.
Yeah, and I'm running into people now. Well, not a lot of people, but because there's still a lot of Vietnam vets alive.
That's right.
But I'm running into people that it took them, they're getting their VA benefits now that they didn't get. Should have gotten 25 years ago. So that's a great thing.
Absolutely.
But we do veteran services because and I usually do probably about 85% veteran services I do for free.
Okay.
And then there's some things with helping veterans get their disability. I don't have that skill.
Right.
But I have a friend that actually does it and it doesn't cost them anything.
That's good.
So I send them to there.
That's good to know.
To him and then make him, I say, hey, he used to be a first sergeant. Yeah. I say, hey, Top, I need you to fix these people. He's like, hey, sir, I got it.
That's good to know, Darrell. And then one thing about most of these systems, initially they're designed to make you give up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you get turned down, and our people are like that. Our people have been turned down so much, and in the wrong line for so long, until it doesn't take much to discourage. Our people, Darrell.
And look, it's defeated. We people of color.
Yes.
Unfortunately, have the tendency to allow themselves to be defeated.
That's right.
I give you a prime example. If you got 8 blacks on a jury and 4 whites on the jury, the 4 whites will be able to convince the 8 blacks to vote their way.
Oh, Darrell.
And there is nothing on this earth the 8 blacks could do to convince the 4 whites to come their way. Nothing on this earth they could do to convince them to go their way. But
that's not saying white is right. Brown, stick around. Was that?
Yeah. I mean,
and that's awful too, Darrell. But you're right. You're sure right.
Yeah. I mean, look, and the only reason I know this, I'm not telling what somebody told me.
Right.
I try cases. And you
had 8 people. 8 blacks.
I'm not going to go there.
Okay, right.
But I've had substantial numbers of blacks, and because normally you're not going to get more than about 6 blacks on a jury, even in Shelby County.
A place where 65%.
65%, yeah. So I've had 6 people of color on the jury, and still end up not getting the amount of money that my client is entitled to have.
Oh my goodness.
Because what ends up happening is those 5 whites or 6 whites, even if you can bend any of them, there's 1 or 2, no matter what, I ain't bending for you. And the blacks will have a tendency to bend.
To bend, yeah.
And look, you have a voice, unfortunately, and this is what we want to talk about access to justice.
Right.
And I want to back into this.
Okay.
You have a voice. If you're on a jury, or you're seeing a lawyer, or you have hired a lawyer, you have a voice. If you let 6 people, you let 4 people bend 8 of you to their will, you have given up your voice.
You've lost it.
You have given up your voice.
Yes.
And again, look, I'm not going to talk about the case, but my wife was on a jury one time, right? And, they were, it was a criminal case. And, so the facts are coming out, and, my wife, in her mind, the prosecution lost the case.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Her position was, again, and this is why you got to think, the defendant has no duty.
That's right.
The defendant can sit there and twiddle his thumb.
That's right.
He doesn't have to testify. He don't have to do anything.
That's right.
It's the prosecutor's job to prove their case. Now, sometimes a prosecutor should not win if it's a circumstantial case.
That's right.
Because it's beyond a reasonable doubt. So if it's circumstantial, how do you win?
That's automatically.
It's, you know,
no win. Yeah.
It's no win. I mean, it's circumstantial. That means we're thinking, we believe there's some stuff that insinuate that this person has done it, but they don't have no proof. So if it's circumstantial evidence, the prosecution didn't prove their case.
That's exactly right, Darrell.
So what ended up happening here in this particular case, my wife's position was simple. I'm looking for the prosecutor to tell me a story that makes me say, you did it.
Right.
And
no one else did.
And no one else did.
Right, but you, right.
And you did it, and you didn't have a defense to do it.
That's right.
You know, because in this particular case, my wife believed that the defense established that the defendant had defenses to what he did.
Okay.
And so they go back into the jury room, right? They back in the jury room now, and she ain't ready to vote now because she want to hear what everybody's saying. You know, she's smart like that, right?
Right.
She back in the jury room. 2 or 3 people said, "I've already made my mind up. Let's vote." You know, and I'm like, wow.
Right.
You know, and so it goes on and on and on, and then finally, you know, 1 or 2 guys said, I'm not going. You know, I believe, you know, he's guilty because he's here. Mm-hmm. Had he not been, if he wasn't arrested, he guilty because he was arrested.
If he had done anything,
he wouldn't have been arrested. If he had done anything, they wouldn't have he wouldn't be on trial.
That's right.
They're not going to spend all their money to try this person if he ain't done nothing wrong, really. Mm-hmm. So that's the position. And they ended up with a hung jury.
All right.
You know, now obviously, you know, I don't know if the prosecutor tried that case because you know you don't know that kind of stuff.
That's right.
But she said, you know, in her mind, they did not prove their case, so they can't be beyond a reasonable doubt because they didn't prove their basic case.
That's right. Okay.
You know,
right.
So she and I'm going here. She used her voice. Mm-hmm. They have impaneled you as a member of the jury. Nobody on that jury knows no more than you know. That's right. They only know what comes in through testimony. And after the end of the testimony, if you don't believe, stick it out. That's right. If you're the outcast, be the outcast. That's right. That's right. I mean, you know, man up.
Right. But that's hard. It's hard to be a loner, the one person who is saying no. It's hard. So you got to put your big girl or the said panties on or your big boy shorts on and stand firm. If you've not been convinced, then you vote that way. Well, it's just that simple.
I was reading the transcripts of a jury trial. Okay. And you may realize some of what I'm getting ready to say. Mm-hmm. Reading the transcripts of a jury trial. This guy shot this guy because this guy was protecting, the guy that was protecting a woman got shot by the defendant. Okay. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. Shot him, killed him. Walked past him, stood over him, put
shot him again.
Yeah. Undisputed. It comes out in the transcripts. Gets back to the jury. The jury there's so many people that's saying they can't determine whether they're going to do first degree, second degree. And then you got 4 or 5 people that says, well, I think maybe that may be self-defense. So they come out, they tell the judge, we can't not get a verdict on this issue. We can't agree. And the judge say, if I send you back, you think you're going to be able to agree? No, we're not going to be able to agree. And the judge said, well, I can't remember what the rule is. He said, but under this rule, I must send you back and order you to try to work, to keep on until you come up with something. To keep on and come up with something. Right. And if you still can't come up with something, we'll come back. They come back. This guy killed this guy, man. Come back. And they acquit the guy on that charge. How do we go from first degree, second degree, acquitting. This guy shot this guy.
Yeah.
And walked over, stood over him, shot the guy. His testimony was, I felt threatened.
Oh, that's sad.
You know, and here's the thing that bothered me. The person that got shot, the person that was protecting the person, and the person who shot were all black.
Sad.
So the only thing that I could think in my mind is the jury devalued the black life.
That's exactly right.
That's the only thing I could think.
That's the only thing could possibly be Darrell.
I was disgusted when I was
care less.
Yeah. Oh man, this black on black crime, man, this black rules, man. You know, that's one less black we got to worry about.
Oh my goodness.
I was disgusted when I read the transcript.
I know.
And look, I don't want you to be. Look, artist. I don't want you to be thinking that I'm some kind of radical black person that is all these different things. I am a guy that want life to be fair.
That's right. That's all.
I just want life to be fair, man.
That's all.
I just want a chance, man. I just want a chance, Jerome.
Darrell, you're right.
I don't want.
American. I just want to be an American.
Why do I gotta be all these? I'm African American. I'm Negro. I'm a person of color. Why can't I just be an American, man? I just want to be a United States citizen. That's all I want to be, man.
I know, Darrell. It's sad.
But again, your voice. We wanted to talk about this access to justice because what we really want you to do is exercise your voice.
That's right.
When you hire a lawyer.
That's right.
Look, when clients come into my office, and I've gotten some evaluations from clients that says, man, he was hard on me.
Right.
and sometimes, look, I used to get annoyed about it.
Right.
But I come to think this thing through.
Right.
The reason why someone says that you're hard on them is they don't want their position contested. Okay?
Right. Right.
My job, once you retain me, is I'm a hired gun. I say it all the time. I'm an assassin.
Right.
You hire me, I assassinate who's on the other side. That's what I'm a hired gun.
Right. And you make no mistake about it.
I make no mistake about it. I ain't got no loyalties on nobody on. Shoot, you know that.
Right, that's
I ain't got no loyalties to anybody else on the other side of my client.
Right.
Now, obviously, I'm not gonna do anything. Jerome. I'm not ignorant, and I don't.
Right.
So I'm gonna zealously advocate for my client.
That's right.
But here's what you got to look at. If I don't find out where the landmines are, or that's a military term, the landmines, if I don't find out where the problems are in your case, I have basically committed malpractice.
I agree with that so wholeheartedly, Darrell.
So you and I are in the room together. You're the potential client. I'm the potential lawyer. We're supposed to be able to dialogue with each other.
That's right.
We're supposed to be able to agree to disagree. And I don't mean that in a bad way. You're supposed to, because if you think it's the law, I should be able to tell you, that ain't the law.
That's not the law. That's right.
I'm not certain that's the law. And you're supposed to be able to say, oh, my bus.
That's right. And respect your decision because you know the law.
Yeah,
right.
Well, Pookie told me, because that's what ended up happening, because what ends up happening, my boy told me this. And see, now you making me be flippant.
Right.
You said, well, I was talking to my boy and he said X, Y, and Z. And I'm saying, let me ask you a question, man. What law school did your boy go to? Oh, he didn't go to law school. Then why are you telling me about what your boy said?
That's right.
Because he ain't,
I'm not going to even have that conversation with you. Because he has no idea what he's talking about.
He don't know.
Period. And where did you meet him at? Oh, he was my cellmate. Okay. That answer is right there.
Yeah.
He and I was in the same bunk together.
We go back a long way. Yeah.
So I'm done with that one right there. But there you're absolutely right. But that's just awful. Go ahead, man.
But about saying though, Jerome, you are in the room with your lawyer or your potential lawyer, and once you hire your lawyer, you should be able to ask your lawyer any question.
That's exactly right.
You are wrong if you leave and you have asked a question and you didn't get an answer.
Don't get an answer.
Now, it's different than you not liking the answer.
Right. Right.
But you should get an answer.
But Darrell, we see it all the time. People will hire, and some of my best friends are white, Caucasians. You know, because I looked on my wall just yesterday on my graduating class. I was the only black male in my class. Did I ever tell you that? About 200 of us, and only 5 black people graduated altogether. And I was the only black male, and I was the only one for 5 years to graduate from Memphis State University's law school. And so I said that to say this, that whenever we were in court, people would have hired Caucasian attorneys, but the communication was not there. The lines of communications were absent. So they would see me or see you and want to ask a question from us. And that's what I was just trying to get to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
about your lawyer.
That's right. Because they feel comfortable speaking to you, but they've hired someone else.
Yeah.
And so whoever you've hired has an obligation to answer your questions.
And again, and I say this, and you know this, Jerome, I don't take cases behind other lawyers.
Right.
I mean, and I'm adamant about it.
That's right.
And if I have taken a case behind another lawyer, you are somebody's friend, you are somebody's, maybe one of my family members, or you or somebody that come from, a couple of the contracts that I have.
Right.
But I don't take cases because, again, when you say, what's the guy dog jumping around on TV, or somebody,
or birds flying,
or
somebody at the Coke machine punching the button.
Yeah,
free.
Free. All you do when you doing that, and you hire that person,
right,
you have made your choice.
That's exactly right.
And you say, well, I didn't know anybody. That's crap. Yeah. I'm not going to let you go there. Right. I didn't know anybody. Okay, whatever. I know that. Come on now. Or you come in and here's the dumbest thing I ever hear. When I hired this black lawyer before and he didn't do good, so I'd say I'm not going to never hire another black lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a buffoon.
Yeah.
That's just ignorant. Because, you don't ever say if a contractor screws something up that's happened to be a non-minority, well, I'm never going to hire a white person.
Never.
Yeah, I ain't never heard a black person say nothing that stupid.
Never heard that before.
But you can stupidly open your mouth and say, I'm never going to hire another black person.
Right.
That to me is just illogical.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes no sense. So if you are such a coward, pun intended, that you are afraid to ask your own lawyer that you're paying questions, then why would you hire somebody that you can't ask them questions?
No question about that, Darrell. You're absolutely right.
My clients ask me questions to almost a nightmarish level.
They need to, because what I don't like, Darrell, is that it's no way for me to ask you. No, it's no way for me to answer a question that you don't ask.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, I didn't know that. Well, you never asked me. And I don't know everything you say, but that's why I have a regular spiel that I tell clients, and I know you have one too. I understand. Let me finish. They want to cut you off when you start trying to tell them what the rules are. This is how I run my office.
Right.
This is what I expect out of you. Okay, I got you. No, let me get through because. And they would say, well, you never told me this. Well, I can't specifically remember telling you this, but I always do it. So based on that, I told you.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching the show, and we'll see you back next week.
Tune in to Talking Law with attorney Darrell O'Neal and a special guest host, attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17.